Yes. Yes. I learned some things. Yes.
And who did you learn those things from?
From Taz.
And what was it that Taz told you?
That he was going to be. Oh, that he was sending out kites. You know, that's jail terminology.
He being.
He being Tyrone Baum. And that he wanted to revenge for his brother's death.
So Tyrone Baum was coming home and he wanted to avenge his brother's death. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you witness any discussions or were you part of any discussions with members of CMB about that fact?
Yeah, with Taz and Dwayne Myers. You know, they had discussed him coming home.
And did Taz and Dwayne Myers discuss what they wanted to do about Tyrone Baum's threats?
In particular, Taz? Yes.
What did he say?
He is going to have to be dealt with.
And what happened to Tyrone Baum?
He was murdered.
Do you remember the day Tyrone Baum was killed?
Yes, I do.
Do you know who killed him?
Boo Flair.
Did anybody else help Boo Flair kill Tyrone Baum?
The getaway driver.
Who was that?
Abu Bakr.
And on the day of the murder, were you with Boo Flair and Abu Bakr up to a period of minutes before the murder?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so let's go through what happened that day. Earlier in the day, Tyrone Baum was murdered on a Friday, correct?
Yes.
And so can you explain what you had done earlier that day?
Since it was Friday, we was all at St. John's. Abu Bakr had came over, and he asked me, since I was the oldest, you know, where we going to go to the Mass? You know, this is Jummah, the equivalent of Sabbath for the Muslims.
Friday is the Muslim Sabbath day equivalent?
Yes.
Okay, so please go ahead.
So I said, because I wanted them to meet Muslims that was Black African, Black American descent. And so I said, let's go over here to Malcolm X Boulevard where these were my elders and the main masjid.
Was the masjid the same thing as a mosque?
Absolutely.
Okay, so please go ahead.
So we all decided to go there, and we went there, but...
When you say, I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. When you say we, who is we?
That would be Dwayne Myers, Taz, Abu Bakr, myself, and Boo Flair.
Okay.
But when we got to the masjid, I found out that I'm the only one that actually went to the service.
And just so we can describe the actual masjid, what does it look like? If you were walked by it, what would you see?
Like a storefront almost. But the masjid is actually in the basement.
I see. So you were in the basement doing observances?
Yes.
And what happened after that?
After the service was over, Abu Bakr Abdul Rahim comes downstairs and informs me that they actually had seen Tyrone Baum.
What happened after you were informed of this?
We all came upstairs and we got into the cars, and they actually circled around where he was at.
Do you remember who was in what car? I take it there were more than one car?
There was 2 vehicles, and Taz and Dwayne Myers was in one. And the other one is the van, which Abu Bakr Abdul Rahim, Boo Flair, and myself was in.
And you circled? Where did you circle?
They went by, actually, where he was actually working at.
What was that?
That was a construction site.
And did you say you were in one of the cars?
Yes.
Did your car go by where...
Yeah, both cars.
When you were driving by, driving by the construction site, did you see Tyrone Baum?
Yes.
So what happened after that?
They separated the vehicles.
So your car went separately from the other car?
Yes. And Taz was with Dwayne Myers in the car communicating by CB, the Nextel phones, and to Boo Flair and Abu Bakr saying, "What the fuck is taking so long?"
Okay.
And
again, you're with Boo Flair and Abu Bakr?
Yes.
And since it's chirps on the phones,
I can hear it.
You can hear what's being said?
I can definitely hear what's being said.
Okay, please continue.
So they decide to make their move, but before that, Abu Bakr rides all the way up to Fulton Street and gives me $5 and says, "Meet me at the India House."
By the way, what was the India House?
India House was an halal Muslim restaurant on Court Street and Atlantic.
And what was, did you go to the India House frequently?
Profoundly. Yes.
And did you go with other members of the CMB?
Yes.
So, on this day, Abu Bakr instructed you to meet him at India House?
Yes, sir.
And what happened? What did you do?
When we got there?
Yes?
At the India House?
Yes.
We waited and we seen the restaurant.
So did you go to the India House?
We was outside. Yes.
When you say we, who is we?
Myself, Abu Bakr, Dwayne Myers, Boo Flair. Some other characters were there. I don't remember who they were.
Could you just take us step by step? Because you left the car with Abu Bakr, correct?
Yes.
Where did you go?
I went downtown to the India House.
And
By myself.
when you got to the India House, were you there by yourself at first?
Yes.
So who did you see arrive?
Abu Bakr. And I seen Taz. Let me back up here. I can't remember exactly who I seen as far as everybody.
Sure.
But I do remember Taz. I do remember Dwayne Myers for sure. And was other characters there I can't remember.
Did you see, you had been in the car with Abu Bakr and Boo Flair, correct?
Correct.
Did you see both of them again?
I believe so. I believe so.
Did the people that were there have any conversations?
Yeah, but I can't remember.
All right, and where did you go from there?
Later on in the day, we went down to Flatbush.
What was the purpose of going to Flatbush?
That's where Dwayne Myers lived.
And did you talk to anybody while you were on the way to Flatbush?
Yeah, I talked to Boo Flair and Dwayne Myers and Taz, if I'm not mistaken.
What was the conversation?
They was not supposed to tell World who actually killed T-Rock.
Did they tell you why?
Yes.
Did they say why?
Yes.
Why was that?
Because they said World had a big mouth.
So what happened when you got to Flatbush? Did you see anybody?
Yes, I seen everybody.
Who did you see?
I seen Dwayne Myers, Taz, Boo Flair, and World. Yes, I remember that.
Was that the first time you remember seeing World that day?
Yes, that was the first and only time.
Did you hear any of the CMB members tell World anything?
They told him it was an out-of-town hit. The person who actually did the hit was out of town.
So they didn't tell him the truth?
No, they did not tell him the truth.
And they told him the person was out of town?
Absolutely.
And what was World's reaction?
I can't describe that, in totality.
Do you remember what kind of car Abu Bakr was driving that day?
Yeah, he had a van.
What kind of van?
A minivan, which I believe that was his wife's car.
So you don't happen to remember what color it was, do you?
It wasn't brown, it wasn't tan. Somewhere in between. Like bronze, if you please.
And at some point after that day, did you have a discussion with Abu Bakr about the police?
That day?
No, after that day?
After that day.
Okay, if you don't remember, that's fine.
Yeah, no.
Now, at some point did you witness a discussion between Boo and Taz about money?
Yes, when we was down south.
So after Tyrone Baum was murdered, did you go back to Virginia?
Yes,
And who did you go with?
with Taz.
And anybody else?
Yeah, I can't remember. All I know, we went back and we talking about the conversation that Boo had with Taz about the money.
Right.
You want me to speak on that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Boo Flair was making a joke about the fact that Taz had not completely given him all his money to kill Tyrone Baum.
And was Boo talking to Taz in person?
Absolutely.
So Boo was down there with you too?
Without a doubt.
How long do you remember staying in Virginia with Taz and Boo?
I can't remember. It was a good while.
Okay, and did you eventually come back to New York?
Yes, I did.
What happened so that you came back to New York?
Me and Taz had a falling out.
What was that over?
Over money.
What? How so?
I had made some sales with clothing, and he never gave me my cut.
Where did you go when you came back?
I came back to live with Dwayne Myers.
At some point, were you approached by federal agents?
Yes, I wouldn't be sitting here if I wasn't.
And what happened when they approached you?
Well, they were very cordial, very polite, but they made it clear the best thing I can do is get in their car.
All right. So they were in a car?
Oh yes, there was a car.
And did you get in their car?
Without a doubt.
And where did you go?
They took me out to Kennedy Airport.
And did they talk to you then? Did you talk to them?
Indeed.
Were you arrested that day?
I was never arrested.
So can you explain, did you at some point become aware that Taz was arrested?
Taz, all that's over.
Taz was arrested before you were approached by agents?
Yeah,
And when Taz was arrested, what did you do?
I came down to see him in the courthouse to see what was really going on.
Once you had spoken with the agents at the airport, did you at some point get a lawyer? You were appointed a lawyer?
Yes, I was.
And did you speak more with the government at that point?
Yes, I did.
Did you come to the courthouse and plead guilty?
Absolutely.
And when you say you were never arrested, do you mean that you were never taken in handcuffs off the street? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Technically, I was arrested. Technically. But I was never incarcerated or held.
So you came into the courthouse and you pled guilty, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you say technically arrested, you were fingerprinted?
Fingerprinted by the U.S. Marshals.
And you were allowed to go home the same day?
Absolutely, yes.
And did you have some kind of a... Do you remember the subject of bail being addressed?
$100,000 bond.
And to do the $100,000 bond, did you have to actually pay $100,000?
No.
What did you have to do?
Well, what do you mean?
Did have you to sign to get...
Yeah. I signed some documents, yes.
And do you remember the government supported your application for bail? Is that correct?
Yes, they did.
And since then, do you know what pretrial supervision is?
Yes.
Do have you to go to pretrial supervision?
Absolutely not.
And instead, do you have to report to the agents when they ask you to?
Yes, when they call for me, yeah, I have to report.
Do you know what kind of drugs World gave you to give to eBay?
Cocaine.
I have no further questions, thank you.